The global population today stands at around 8.2 billion people, spread across 195 countries. But did you know that nearly half of all people live in just 6 nations? That's right. Only 3% of the world's countries host half of its population. Today, we'll explore the top nations that rule the world share to this day. So stay tuned to find out which country takes the top. We begin our journey in Nigeria, the most populous country in Africa, home to over 220 million people. But Nigeria isn't just about numbers. This vast country spans 356,669 square miles, almost twice the size of California. Despite its large size, Nigeria's population is packed into its cities and towns, with a density of around 617 people per square mile. In Lagos alone, over 21 million people live, making it one of the fastest-growing cities in the world. Overall, Nigeria accounts for approximately 2.75% of the world's population. But Nigeria's rapid growth is staggering. It adds about 5 million new people each year, roughly the equivalent of adding the entire population of Colorado annually. By 2050, this booming nation is expected to surpass the United States to become the third most populous country on the planet. This rapid growth, driven by one of the youngest populations in the world, poses significant challenges. More than half of Nigerians are under the age of 18, putting immense pressure on the country's infrastructure, education system, and job market. Despite being Africa's largest economy, fueled by oil and agriculture, Nigeria must balance these sectors while also navigating its rapid urbanization and environmental concerns. Next, we journey to Pakistan, the 5th most populous country in the world, with a population exceeding 240 million people. Pakistan covers an area of 340,509 square miles, about the size of Texas, but with far more people packed into its cities and towns. With a population density of 705 people per square mile, it's one of the densest countries on our list. Every year, another 2 million people are added to this already packed nation. Pakistan now holds around 3% of the world's population, and it's one of the youngest nations on our list. The median age here is just 22, and this youthful energy is both an opportunity and a challenge. On one hand, a young population is a blessing. There's enormous potential for innovation, and Pakistan's tech industry is already starting to make waves in the global market. But on the other hand, it's a race against time. Pakistan needs to create millions of jobs to keep up with this growing population. And with the country's resources stretched thin, especially water, there are major hurdles to overcome. Yet Pakistan's spirit of resilience shines through as it navigates these challenges with determination. In 4th place is Indonesia, a nation like no other. With over 270 million people, it's the largest archipelago in the world, stretching across more than 17,000 islands. It's a country of contrasts, covering more than twice the area of Texas at 735,000 square miles, yet with a population density that varies dramatically depending on where you are. Jakarta, the capital, is one of the world's most crowded cities, and Indonesia's population is steadily growing, about 2.5 million more people each year. That's like adding New Mexico's entire population annually. Overall, Indonesia accounts for about 3.5% of the global population, but its unique geography makes governing this vast collection of islands quite the challenge. Is Southeast Asia's economic powerhouse, with a thriving tech sector and a tourism industry that draws millions. But as more people move to the cities, environmental concerns become pressing. Jakarta, for instance, is literally sinking, prompting plans to relocate the capital to a new city. Indonesia is a country of incredible potential, balancing its natural beauty and growing economy with the need to protect its environment for future generations. Now, we head to the United States, a land of innovation, opportunity, and diversity. With over 330 million people spread across 3.8 million square miles, the US is vast. But despite its size, it has a relatively low population density, just 87 people per square mile. That means while cities like New York and Los Angeles are packed, there's still plenty of wide open space in this sprawling nation. The US makes up just over 4% of the global population, but its influence far outweighs its size. However, unlike other nations on this list, the US population growth has slowed. Each year, about 1.5 million people are added, largely due to immigration, as birth rates have been declining. Immigration continues to fuel the American workforce, bringing fresh talent and ideas from all over the world. With an aging population and rising inequality, the country must adapt to keep its economy thriving. Yet, the US remains a global leader in technology, culture, and innovation. Its ability to draw people from around the world seeking the American dream ensures its continued relevance on the world stage. India is an extraordinary country. With over 1.4 billion people, India is rapidly closing in on the most populated country in the world and will soon take its place. Covering 1.27 million square miles, India is about a third of the size of the US, but with a population density that's off the charts, around 1,202 people per square mile. India's growth is truly remarkable, 13 million new people each year, the equivalent of adding the population of Pennsylvania annually. This growing population makes up 17.7% of the entire world's population. But India is more than just numbers. It's a country of immense diversity, with over 2,000 distinct ethnic groups and more than 1,600 spoken languages. This diversity is its strength, but also its challenge. As India's population grows, so does its economy. It's quickly becoming a global tech leader, with a youthful workforce driving innovation. But the country faces huge hurdles. Poverty, pollution, and inequality are significant challenges, as millions of people still rely on agriculture for their livelihood. Yet, India's energy, culture, and ambition are propelling it onto the world stage in a way that's impossible to ignore. Finally, we arrive in China, the most populous country in the world. For now, with over 1.4 billion people, China accounts for nearly 18.5% of the global population. But what's fascinating about China is that while it spans a massive 3.7 million square miles, about the same size as the United States, its population density is around 397 people per square mile. In its megacities, though, that number soars as millions pack into urban centers. China's annual population growth has slowed significantly in recent years, adding just 5 million people each year, a far cry from its former explosive growth. In fact, China's population is aging fast. The decades-long one-child policy, lifted in 2016, has left the country with a demographic problem. By 2050, more than a quarter of the population will be over 65. It's a challenge the country is already facing, with an aging workforce and a shrinking pool of young workers. China's economy, however, is nothing short of remarkable. It has grown to become the second largest economy in the world, a manufacturing and tech giant, shaping global industries from AI to green energy. But with its population dynamic shifting, the future for China will require balancing economic power with the realities of a rapidly aging society. 6 nations, nearly half the world's population. These countries aren't just homes to billions. They're the driving forces behind the world's economic, cultural, and social evolution. So, what does the future hold for these giants of population? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, these countries will be at the center of it all. If you're curious to keep exploring with us, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more stories from around the globe. The journey's far from over. There's always more to discover.